guys, welcome back to my channel. So we've got one of my favorite videos to film today, and that is my January favorites. So if you're interested in seeing what I've been really enjoying this past month, then just keep on watching. I really cannot, like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if I'm too excited about something, it seems fake, but I like love these brushes so much, and I have like a hard time actually expressing myself. I love them so much. It's like I get so excited. But the Sonia G brushes are stupendous. Like, I really can't get away from using them. And usually with all my other brushes, you know, I use them up, they get kind of dirty, I kind of set them aside until I'm like ready to clean my brushes. I use some other one, no big deal. But when these get dirty and I'm kind of like forced to use a different one because I'm too lazy, I don't like washing my makeup brushes, I'm really just like upset and bitter that I can't use these. I just love these. I love these so much. And now that these are sold individually on Beautylish, so they were only sold as a complete set previously, but now that they're sold individually, I thought, let me mention these and kind of pick out the ones that I would get first off. I would get them all. If you can, just get the set. Just get the set. But if you just want to kind of try them out, you're not quite sure about them, these are the three that I would get. I would get the Sculpt 1, which is this gigantic fan brush. There's nothing better for like contouring and bronzing up your face. I absolutely love it. It is extremely dirty. I have to wash it. And in fact, I was using a different brush to contour the other day because this was dirty, and I was like, I hate this brush. This is the second one that I would recommend. This is the Base 1 brush, and this is what I use for foundation. This is also very dirty, and I need to wash this. So I like putting foundation on with brushes, so this was not like a total learning curve for me in any way, but this is definitely my favorite foundation brush now. I love my Hourglass, let me get that. I love my Hourglass foundation brush. It has this like dome top, it's dense. This brush I don't mind using when this one is dirty, but this I just prefer so much more. There is, like, this I feel like really works the product into my skin. It's fine. You know, I kind of use circular motions and I can be kind of messy with it. This does it in like half the time. I feel like it soaks up half as much product, and because of the way these bristles are, they're a little bit looser on top and then it gets dense. I feel like you can really kind of feather the product in and then work it in as it's setting. It's just like the perfect brush for liquid foundation. I'm sorry, it's perfect. I just absolutely love it. The handles on these brushes are so comfortable. They're so beautiful. Again, I cannot say enough good things about these brushes. And then the last one that I would recommend if you're gonna buy these individually is the Worker 1 brush. This brush to me is very unique because this is a super duper kind of like dense blending brush. We have brushes, I wouldn't even call it a blending brush actually. I mean, it's sort of a hybrid between like a shader and a blender. But you know, I was so used to brushes, like blending brushes that are just like round and fluffy, and you know, you just kind of like swirl the product around. This allows you to kind of place the product in a meaningful way and then lighten up your grip, you know, hold the brush at the end, and then you can use like the tips of these bristles to kind of blow out the edges. And I kind of like working that way. I feel like now when I use a big fluffy blending brush, I feel like it's just, I don't know where it's going, and if you're using like a really powdery eyeshadow, it kind of ends up everywhere. I know you're supposed to tap off the excess and that shouldn't happen, but it still happens occasionally. And the other thing too is you get so much more fallout when you work that way. When you work with like a big fluffy brush that's just sort of spreading product everywhere. With a brush like this, you end up with so much less fallout than those brushes. And those brushes are great. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be using like my Tom Ford blending brush, all my Wayne Goss brushes. You know, they're all like round, ferrule, and like really fluffy. Definitely going to continue using those. I think they definitely have their place. But try this brush. It's like kind of an oval ferrule, and these bristles they're so soft, but they're so dense. So they're like, there's a definite stiffness to them, but they're also really pliable. It's just, an amazing brush, and it's different, and it definitely takes a little getting used to, but now that I am used to this, again, I'm getting a backup. I may get 2 backups of this one actually. So these are the 3 brushes that I would recommend. My ultimate recommendation is just get the complete set, but if you want to kind of enter in slowly, just get these 3. So this next product I have been loving, like hardcore loving. I think, maybe did I mention it in my December favorites? It's possible, I can't remember. But this is the Sicily bronzer. The full name is the Phyto Touch Sun Glow Bronzing Gel Powder. And you can definitely get the name gel powder because it has such an interesting texture. It's so silky smooth, and it goes on the skin like powder form, and then it sort of just like melts into your skin. It is such a glorious product, and I'm actually surprised that this embossing isn't more flattened, but I freaking love this bronzer. So these 2 products are definitely very new to my collection, so I haven't been using them for the entire month of January, but ever since I got them, I've been pulling them out to kind of use at least like one product, and these are the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palettes. So the Daria palette, I will pull out for this glow cream base if I want to get like a cream highlight down. I've been pulling this out, it's so beautiful. And then this blush I've been using because it's very different for me. I don't really have a blush in my collection that, I mean, not only has like a highlighting quality to it, but it also has like a lavender kind of very cool pink tone to it, and I really don't have many blushes like that in my collection. So I've really been loving these 2 products a lot. These 2 I will pull out occasionally for it. These 2, as much as I love them, I don't use often because they are so kind of like glitzy, but I keep telling myself the next time I go out to dinner or something, I am definitely pulling those out. And then in the citrus palette, I've also been loving this cream base as like a nice kind of cream contour base. So I've been pulling it out for this. I will dabble with this citrus color only because every time I open up this palette, I'm like, yes, what can we do with this? So, you know, I'll just kind of like pat that on my cheeks a little bit just to give it a little tone. It obviously does not come off quite as yellow as it does in the pan. It just sort of gives it a nice sort of like wash of that color. It's a lot of fun. So I've been loving both of these palettes a lot. And speaking of new products, I have to mention the Pat McGrath Decadence palette. It is so good. It is so good. It has all shimmer shades. I did a review and demo of this a couple videos ago. And I keep coming back to this palette for these 2 colors. They are just so pretty, and they're so wearable, even though they are shimmery. I mean, look how reflective they are. I still find that they just add enough glitz to my eye look so it looks like a lot of fun, but it's not too much where I look like, you know, where I look too crazy. I really like neutral looks, as you guys know, but these colors are just stunning. I mean, I can use these darker colors kind of to like smoke out the eyes. I don't feel like it looks too crazy. And I feel like I'm talking about like justifying how everyday this palette is, because I feel like a lot of people are hesitating in purchasing this palette because it's like, whoa, it's like too crazy. What am I gonna do with this? There's a lot of like neutral goodness in here. So these 2 shades like I just swatched are great. This blue blood shade, this color here, this dark blue color, those are just great like along the lash line if you want to kind of use it as eyeliner, smoke out your look a little bit, darken it up a little. It's like totally great. These like very kind of standard metallic shades, this gold, this kind of like white gold, and this silver is great, you know, kind of on the inner corner if you just want to like pat it on lightly. To kind of brighten up like the center of your lid. These are really great. So for me, the only 2 shades that I probably wouldn't like reach for in this palette unless I was going for a very kind of like va va boom look are these 2 shades. This shade and this shade here, just because they're not shades that I normally would wear, but that's it. It's just those 2 shades. The rest of them are, I don't know, I can like incorporate them into everyday looks. And the quality of this, someone asked me how the longevity was. This shadow, and I don't use setting spray often just because I don't feel the need. If my makeup fades, it fades, no big deal. But I have found that when I use these shadows, there is like zero fading, there is zero diminishing to like the quality of it. It's not like it gets more dull during the day. There's not like more fallout or anything. I feel like when I put these shadows on, they stay put, they don't move, they don't do anything, and they're just there. Another eyeshadow palette that I've been loving, I did a whole video and demo on this because I loved it so much, and I actually took it to New York with me. This was the only eyeshadow I brought. Did not regret that choice at all. And this is the Laura Mercier Exotics Redefined palette. Yes, Exotics Redefined palette. I just love it. I think the shades are really beautiful. You have all your neutrals here. You have mattes at the bottom, shimmers at the top. You have some colors to use as like liner, to smoke out your eye look. It's just a great everyday palette. I love the quality of these shadows. They work really nicely together. They blend. They don't get like muddy. They're super smooth. They're very pigmented. I was super duper impressed with this palette. All right, next up I have a mascara, surprisingly. But this is the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. And this is the mascara that they claim will help your eyelashes grow. Now, I was very skeptical, but I thought, you know what? My eyelashes suck, so it's not gonna hurt. I wanted to try their mascara anyway. So I've been using it, I don't know, whenever I put on mascara, which is not every day, but I have been trying to, you know, test this out. And I want to say for the past month, I've been using it at least 4 or 5 times during the week. And at first I noticed that I had, my eyelashes seemed thicker, and it seemed like I was getting more growth on my lash line. And I was like, wow, okay, that's great. But they're still short, and I was like, well, okay, it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, I'll take anything I can get. But I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't really think much of it. But just recently, I want to say maybe this past week, I've noticed that my lashes look longer too. So I feel like it's taking a while, but I don't think this is a change that would happen overnight anyway. But I do think it's taking a while, and I do think it's actually working. I mean, I am incredibly surprised because I really had no expectations. I was like, okay, whatever. If I close my eyes and look down, I think maybe you'll see them along my cheeks. But I don't have any mascara on today because my eyes have been bothering me. I think I have allergies. But they are actually a little bit fuller and a little bit longer. In terms of the mascara also, I find it to be a very lovely mascara. I feel like it, you know, it adds like a little bit of volume, it adds a little bit of length. It's not like super duper crazy, but it lasts all day. I don't find that it smudges underneath my eyes at all. I think it's a really high quality mascara, and if it's gonna make my lashes grow, I am like all in. So I'm going to continue using this, and I will definitely kind of keep you up to date on what's going on with my eyelashes. This is an oldie but goodie. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, and if you can believe, this is something that I never actually picked up. So a girlfriend of mine actually gave this to me because she just didn't like it on her skin. She's a little bit more medium tone, so I feel like the incandescent was probably a little bit too light for her. And she felt like the other powders seemed a little bit heavy and like kind of thick on her skin. So anyway, she just didn't like it, and so she passed it on to me, and I thought, oh, okay, you know, I'll take it. I never thought about picking this up because I have 2 of the colors, the dim light and the radiant light, in single pans. So I thought I don't really need this. But the incandescent light in the center here, the center shade here, is exclusive to this palette. Anyway, I've been whipping out this palette just because it's more convenient to have like all 3 in the same place. I've been loving this, you know, and I've been doing a lot of no foundation looks, and I actually just posted a get ready with me where I'm doing like my everyday no makeup, no foundation look, and I'm using this powder. So without foundation, I like what this powder does to my skin because it just kind of gives it that blurring effect that I need. It just sort of helps a little bit. So I don't put foundation on, I just kind of throw on some concealer or whatever, do like, you know, I kind of focus on more on like cream products, and then I'll use this kind of over everything, and it really just finishes off the look. I use it lightly because if I'm doing a no foundation look, it's generally because I want my skin to breathe, and I don't want like a heavy look. And I do feel like if you use too much of these powders, it does end up looking a little thick on the skin. So I'll just go in really, really lightly. Like this, I'll put over like the high points of my face. These two colors I'll kind of go between for like the contour bronze areas, maybe the edges of my face. And it's just great. So I've just been reaching for this a lot this past month. Okay, now lip products. This one is another one that I think I may have mentioned in my December favorites, but I just can't seem to get away from it. This is the Armani Lip Maestro in color 202. And every time I put this on in a video, you guys always ask me what I have on my lips. It's this. It's an amazing formula. It is, kind of has like a matte finish. It's not totally like dry matte looking. It just has no shine. But the formula, it's a little bit moussey and it just kind of dries down. It doesn't set down completely, so it's not transfer proof, but it's just a really, really comfortable and interesting formula. I love it. Let me actually swatch it for you. I don't know if you can get a sense of what the formula is like, but it's like moussey texture, but it's not too moussey where it's almost like too fluffy and it doesn't blend out nicely. This is liquidy enough so that it blends out nicely, but there is kind of like a light airiness to it, and it sort of dries down to like this velvet texture. It's really, really unique. It's really beautiful, and I love this color. The 202 I feel like is like a My Lips but better kind of color. Just love it. And then this Pat McGrath Lust Angeles Luxe Trance lipstick. So this is sort of more the cream formula versus the matte trance, and this is like such a great, you can see some similarities there, but this is such a great nude. It's a little bit cooler than something like this Armani 202 color. This is, to me, just sort of like the perfect nude when I want like a little bit of like a beigey cool lip. A little bit of like a grunge look. I love this color, and of course the formula, and you just can't beat this. So Pat McGrath Los Angeles. So those are my favorites from January. I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know what you guys have been enjoying down below in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I'm going to mention this again. We're creeping up to 10,000 subscribers, and once I hit that point, I'm going to do a giveaway, which includes some amazing stuff. Most of it are favorites, and I just mentioned them in this video. So I'll just mention and tease a little bit now, but the Sicily Bronzer is in the giveaway, the Pat McGrath Decadence palette is in the giveaway, one of the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palettes is in the giveaway. I really wanted to give back to you guys because you're why I'm here. I love you guys. My comment section is always so positive, and it just seems like everyone is sort of just like sharing their experiences, and that's what I love. That's what I love the most about YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll get to 10K. We'll get this giveaway going, and I'll see you in my next video.